Emma Collins walked into the clinic with hesitant steps, her eyes scanning the floor as though it held the answers she'd been avoiding. At just 18, Emma had already endured more pain than most did in a lifetime, years in the foster care system, homes that changed more often than seasons, and a recent secret that weighed on her like an anchor: she was pregnant. The father was a man no one knew about, someone whose presence in her life had been forced, not chosen. Emma hadn't told a soul. She was too afraid, too ashamed, and too unsure of what she wanted. Now, in a small-town clinic on the edge of Woodridge, she sat in a cold exam room, holding her breath as Dr. Harris, a kind-faced physician known for his compassion, began the ultrasound. The room was silent except for the steady rhythm of the machine. Dr. Harris's brow furrowed the moment the screen lit up. He didn't speak immediately, his eyes narrowing as he studied the image. Something wasn't right. He adjusted the probe, looked again, and his stomach dropped. What he saw was disturbing: irregular bruising around the womb, signs of internal trauma, and fetal positioning that suggested complications. But it wasn't just medical, it told a story, one Emma wasn't saying out loud. Dr. Harris gently asked Emma if she had experienced any injuries. She shook her head quickly, too quickly. Her voice was barely above a whisper. No, just stressed, I guess. But her eyes betrayed her. Dr. Harris placed the probe down and offered a small nod. Okay, I'll be right back. He stepped out, heart pounding, and went straight to the front desk to call the authorities. He had taken an oath to protect life, and right now, that included Emma's. He didn't know the full story, but the evidence was there, and he knew this girl needed more than just a diagnosis. She needed help. What was supposed to be a routine checkup had turned into a revelation that would unravel a dark secret, and Dr. Harris was determined not to let Emma walk out the same way she walked in. Emma sat silently as the officers entered the room, their presence calm but firm. She clutched the sides of the examination bed, her heart racing, unsure if she was in trouble or about to be rescued. One officer, a woman named Detective Lawson, knelt beside her and gently introduced herself. Emma, we're here because someone cares about you enough to speak up. You're safe now. But we need to know what happened. At first, Emma shook her head, mumbling something about falling or maybe lifting something too heavy, but her voice trembled with every word. Dr. Harris stood quietly in the corner, his eyes filled with worry, offering her a look of reassurance she had rarely seen from adults in her life. After a long pause, Emma's resolve broke. The tears spilled silently at first, then came in waves as she finally told them about Marcus, a family friend who had been in and out of her last 2 foster homes. She revealed how he'd gained everyone's trust while privately tormenting her for months, threatening her not to speak. She thought no one would believe her. But now, someone had. The room turned heavy with emotion as her truth surfaced. The police immediately opened an investigation, and Child Protection Services stepped in to move Emma to a safe facility where she could heal. Dr. Harris continued to check on her during her pregnancy, not as a doctor, but as the first adult who ever saw past her silence. Months later, Emma gave birth to a healthy baby boy. She named him Noah, which meant rest, because for the first time, she felt at peace. With counseling, education, and unrelenting support from a small circle of people who truly cared, Emma not only healed but grew. She later became a counselor for other foster children, using her voice to be what she never had. Dr. Harris stayed in touch, watching with quiet pride as the girl he once helped save became a woman who saved others. What he saw in that ultrasound that day wasn't just bruises or signs of trauma, it was a silent cry for help. And his decision to act changed not just one life, but many.